What's the hidden cost of being the go-to person in your business? Today we're going to talk about the 3 hidden costs and how it holds you back from success, how it holds your team back, and also how you can make the shift so you can scale without stress. Being needed does feel really good. You start by doing everything yourself, and then slowly you get some team members and you have them ask you for everything, and then you have customers that start coming to you and they want to ask you for everything. And then the machine breaks down and you got to be the one to fix it. And then, hey, I even like to change my own oil. I like to go check on the customers myself. I like to answer the phones when I can. I like to, do my own books too. It's all at the beginning. It seems really important that everybody comes to you. But the problem is you can only take on so much and you can only grow so fast. And then all it takes is one little shake-up and everything comes crumbling down. So we don't want that to happen with your business. So what can we do to avoid that? What can we do to help so you can go on vacation, so the phone is not buzzing nonstop, so your teams will actually make a decision without you? The clients, they will want to deal with the business and not just with you, because you don't want things when you step away to either slow down or crawl to a halt. From the outside, it might look like you're successful, but inside you're really panicking, you're overwhelmed. I know my personal story. We would go out of town, we would go on vacation, and we would come back. One time we came back and our employees had broken a globe of one of our clients. And they didn't know what to do. The phone person didn't know what to do. Nobody really got back with the client. Nobody helped the client. We ended up losing a big client, and we couldn't get them back, all because we didn't have a system in place to help that person while we were gone. We eventually took care of it, but they still never came back to us as a customer. Another time, I was sitting in my office with the door closed, and I get a knock. Hey, come outside and help me. My machine caught on fire. Why? Am I the fire department? We didn't have a system in place. I was the go-to for everything, and I started realizing, why am I always the go-to? What would you do if I wasn't here? So I realized I needed to figure out a way so my team could learn to be responsible and handle things without me being the bottleneck, the one in between everything. So the core problem is a lot of owners mistake being needed that they're a good leader. They build their whole business around the owner. For instance, we like to go on a lot of cruises, and 9 times out of 10 we'll be at a table. One time we were at a table for an hour for lunch, and this business owner was on the phone with I don't know if it was a client or an employee or what it was, but it was a good solid hour that he was on the phone with this person, having to explain all these details. And I was thinking, man, this guy's just stressed on his vacation. And I remember going through that myself. I almost would dread taking vacations because I knew it would mean more work for me either while I was gone or when I came back, because just things would slow to a crawl while I was gone. There's 3 hidden costs of being the go-to person. You become the bottleneck. We've got some great videos recently on that if you want to look at our page here on YouTube. The decisions all have to wait on you, so the growth is limited by your time, your energy. You have to be involved in everything, so it all slows down as it has to come to you. And the second thing is your team doesn't step up. They don't grow because they never get the chance to make an independent decision. They have to run everything by you. So how are they ever going to get that chance? It would be like having a child and always cutting up that child's food and always doing everything for that child. How are they ever going to learn for themselves? Well, we might think that that's ridiculous to do for our children, but then we do the same thing with our employees. We baby them at every step and never let them kind of take those first steps and fall on their own. You're unintentionally training dependency. You're training a dependent person to not think on their own, not think without you. Cost number 3, you can't truly step away. Your time off is stressful. Again, it's not restful. Your vacations get interrupted. My wife always talks about this time we were on a boat. We used to be a member of a boat club, and we would be on the boat, and she just remembers me being on the phone and just not enjoying the beautiful day, the beautiful nature, because it was hard to be present in that moment because the phone's ringing, and it's just like I might as well have just been in the office. So why does this happen to otherwise good owners? You think you're doing everything right. Why does this happen? Why are you still a slave to your business? You started by doing everything at the beginning. but you never got away from that. What got you successful to this point isn't going to get you successful to the next point. And that's hard to accept sometimes as a business owner, because being the fixer for everything worked early on. You were the best at every single part of your business, but now you need to figure out not to be the best at every single part of your business, because you'll never scale. So you kept leaning into it. What builds the business early can often break it later. The shift, what did you do now? You have to change from the hero to the architect. Have you heard of those archetypes before? If you want to be the hero and save the day every day, you're just making a lot of extra work for yourself. But real leadership is not being needed all the time for every decision. Real leadership is building capable leaders underneath you, building clarity, clear systems so they know what to do and how to do it and what the expectations are. The hero answers everything, but the leader builds people who can answer. The goal is to make yourself less necessary over time. As hard as that can be to your ego, you want to be the least important person as far as the business functioning. So what is a practical starting point you can make? You know you need to do it. How do you get started? One thing you could do is start changing the question you ask to your employees. When they come to you with something, instead of just answering, give them the answer, you look smart. Well, that's not going to help them long term. What if you said, what do you think the right call is? Or what would you do if I wasn't available? Or what do we want to happen here? And then what are the steps that we can take to make that happen? Yes, it feels slower and painful at first. They're not going to give you the right answer every time. And it may seem like they're not really making progress. But in the big picture, these are the things you need to do to build their confidence, slowly start building their confidence. Because at first they're going to think, do they really want to know what I think? Or do they just want to hear what I think they want to hear? But you're building leaders, so this can take time. You have to allow them to make mistakes, and some people don't. Some of the business owners we work with don't have the patience to let their leaders make mistakes. They jump in and try to fix everything the second they make the mistake. And what does that do? It undermines their confidence, and it can crush that leader. It can either lead to them quitting, or if they're not quitting physically, sometimes they're quitting mentally and thinking, well, I'm not really going to make any decisions. I'm just going to pretend because I know they're just going to override whatever I say. So if you think about, we talked about the sales roller coaster in one of our last videos. It's the same problem. You don't have the systems in place to create leaders to free up your time. When everything depends on you, then the results are going to go up and down, just like that sales roller coaster. The same thing with the rest of your business. It's all too dependent on you instead of a system. But when systems and people carry the load, now you have stability. Now you have a more evened out instead of up and down swings. So I encourage you to watch that video on the sales roller coaster. You're going to learn a little bit about why these systems are so important. And some of our older videos as well are going to talk about how you can free up more of your time as a business owner. You didn't start your business to be trapped in it. Hopefully you want to live in more freedom. And that's why we created this channel. That's why we do what we do to help small business owners. Being the go-to person, you feel like the most important person in the room, that feels powerful at first, but before long you realize that it is a trap. It traps you of your time, your peace, and your freedom. So I want to invite you to attend our upcoming conference in Houston, Texas with Howard Partridge, Tommy Mello, Ellen Rohr. You're going to be in the room with a lot of business owners that achieve this freedom. And you're going to be in the room with a lot of business owners that haven't yet, that may be on the same part of the path that you are, and some just starting out. And you're going to get to be around that incredible energy, hear from a lot of good speakers, and you're going to be motivated to take those next steps. So I'm going to put the link in the comments below and pin that to the top so you can attend. It's coming up on February 25th, 2026, and it's a 3-day conference. So we invite you to that. Please like and subscribe to our channel so we can reach more business owners. And comment if this sounds like your business and maybe you have some tips for people how you got free of your business. Please let us know in the comments. All right, thanks guys. It's Jeremy with Phenomenal Business Coaching. Have a great day.